So tell us about the 1960s.
Well, the 1960s decades begins with a book. When I was working on my Doctor of Philosophy degree at the Ohio State University, my colleague Laura Chapman came into the office one day and said, "Have you seen this book?" It was a book by the psychologist Rudolf Arnheim about Picasso's Guernica. And the fascinating thing about the book is that Arnheim took the mural, the completed mural, and there was a fold out in the book. And then, with that fold out, he took each of the drawings for Picasso's Guernica and compared them to the final composition to show what he called Picasso's process of visual thinking. I based part of my dissertation on research where I rewrote Arnheim's book to be read by children. So the folios that I created for the 1950s, there's a large one behind me, and there are a dozen small folios in which I began to relate my life and my experiences. In the mural, the horse represents the agony and suffering of the Spanish people. But for me, the horse represented something completely different. It was in my early childhood, I had to have a horse to take the cows to the sandhill pasture. When I was in fourth grade, my teacher asked me, would I teach an art lesson for the other kids? And so I taught them how to draw horses. And here is a folio about my teaching of the other children to draw horses. There is just theme after theme, idea after idea of Picasso, the mural, the horses, and my relationship to Picasso as an artist and to the horses that Picasso drew and the horses that I too was learning to draw. And before I end, let me show one thing. These images, some of which have pieces of Picasso's mural, but in some of my works, I go much, much further with the idea of changing stones into horses. And some of my folios that I could not show in the exhibition are just very rich with texture and with ideas of horses changing into stones.